Hi everybody, my name is Darby Holmes. I started the Cache Lighthouse Project here in Cache Valley, Utah. There's a lot of battlegrounds out there in regards to protecting children, and this just happens to be the one that I felt prompted to stand on at this time. What the project actually is, it's a grassroots effort. There's no funding, we don't have sponsors. It literally is just a tool and a resource like a lighthouse that parents, community members, educators, anybody can use. I want to clear up a couple misconceptions. One is that we are anti-public school. I can't speak for everyone that uses the Lighthouse Project, but for me, who started it, it's the exact opposite. I am so grateful for the opportunity we have in America to get an education, and I have many friends and family members who are fabulous educators. Putting this together, I didn't really know what it was going to look like, and so I really wanted to reach out to educators. So I wanted to get their feedback first and kind of create something with their collaboration. So I met with Terry Rhodes from our school board. I was in contact with Brittany Foster, our executive teaching and learning. I'd contacted all of the librarians in the district and had scheduled out meetings to meet with them, and I was able to meet with a couple, and their feedback was so great. I was able to tweak stuff on the website and make adjustments and really collaborate with them. I thought this would be helpful because we're not expecting librarians to be able to read every single book, right? Now I realize now that that was probably naive of me. One of the earliest challenges that I had was I had lined up these meetings with these librarians, and I was very clear. I was like, I'm starting this project. I don't really know what it's going to look like. I'd love to collaborate with you. And there were so many that were so willing to meet with me. And then one day I got in my inbox, every single librarian that I had lined up canceled. And then after that, when I'd reach out, people said they couldn't meet with me. From what I heard from one of the librarians was that they had been told not to meet with me. I was coming into this really naive, really teachable. I was so open to working with them, and I just felt like I was kind of barred. Now, I was able to go to one of their early morning meetings and present the Lighthouse Project, but again, I still wasn't super clear on what it was going to be, missing that collaborative piece. And I think it's been so detrimental to the project. It definitely started to feel like a us-them mentality, because they were kind of maybe not wanting the librarians to meet with me individually and just kind of speak as a group. To my knowledge, which I can only go off of my own experiences and the experiences that parents have shared with me, the only books that have been challenged this year have been sexually explicit. And we can't pretend like that's not an issue if it's there. The ones that were retained after being challenged clearly violate state law. Schools cannot have books in their schools that depict human genitals in the state of sexual arousal, acts of human masturbation, sodomy or intercourse, or fondling of pubic area, genitals. That is actually illegal. It was revealed that these books did not go through the process properly, which is how they got retained.
There were two findings during the appeal process. One, the district failed to convene the objective review committee before the subjective review committee. And two, some parents felt pressure from the professional educators on the committee to retain the book.
Myself, and I know a couple other parents, wrote in several times explaining the process extremely clearly, so I'm not really sure how it was done wrong. Another concerning challenge that kind of arose, there were teachers who actually offered extra credit for students to come to the board meetings and give public comment.
I decided I can handle reading this, and I want to read it.
Please let the librarians who know the students who come through their libraries best make the decisions about the books on their shelves. Thank you.
If it offends you, then you could just put the book down, close it, and forget it even exists.
When we're talking about something that is still under review by adults to see if it is appropriate for children, it's a little concerning that a teacher is encouraging children activism against a law that is to protect kids from explicit content. And some of the librarians and teachers were hooping and hollering and clapping when stuff was said about book banning and all this stuff. But having said that, there's been a lot of positive things that have been happening. I had mentioned doing a library panel. Brittany Foster, again, the executive teaching and learning, took that and ran with it. It was so awesome. But what was really a bummer about that was that no parents came. There were only a few parents. And if they do that panel again next year, I really hope people will come. I'm not sure if they will, since it was not a great turnout. Another positive thing, after I posted the list, I did notice that quite a few librarians took the books out, and I'm not trying to make it sound like this is the only time they've done that. Another positive thing was I was able to make Megan's video. That's the gal who really struggled with an addiction to erotic content in books, and that whole thing came to me just out of the sky. It wasn't like I said, I need to find, somebody who's been hurt by this and then put their story online. No, it was another one of those things that fell in my lap and came together. Some of the authors that are really concerning have almost been completely deselected or removed from the district. And one thing I want to emphasize, the reason why a lot of these are gone is because the librarians communicate with each other a lot, which is a great thing, because if one finds something concerning, they let the other ones know. The flip side of that is that if you get even just, one librarian that is really respected but doesn't have the same opinions on explicit content, they can really influence the other librarians in the district. And so just realize explicit content being in any of the schools in the district can affect the rest of the schools. To my knowledge, we have no more level 5s in the middle schools. One major win too is that if a book is challenged and it's determined that it does need to be removed from a school, the new district policy is that it will be removed district-wide, which is great. Please go to the website, go to the Facebook page, get involved. I hope you guys have a wonderful summer. Make sure you have a good time with your children. Enjoy the extra time. Have a good one.